Recording in progress.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Selamat pagi saya ucapkan kepada seluruh hadirin yang sudah hadir di acara webinar masih dalam rangka peringatan HUT PII ke-70 dalam judul Integral Design Method Public Space Creating Financial Value Through a Sustainable Mindset. Terima kasih banyak kesempatannya kepada Bapak Ibu sekalian. Baik, perkenalan, nama saya Fitrianisa Lubis yang akan menjadi moderator dan memandu kegiatan kita pada hari ini. Baiklah, sebelum kita mulai kegiatan hari ini, alangkah baiknya kita menyanyikan lagu kebangsaan Indonesia Raya.
mempersatukan Nusantara, membuka cakrawala dunia. Kami insinyur Indonesia, kami memajukan bangsa, mensejahterakan masyarakat untuk kemanusiaan semesta alam. Kami insinyur Indonesia, siap membangun bangsa.
Baik, selanjutnya marilah kita simak opening yang akan disampaikan oleh Bapak Dr. Insinyur Bambang Guritno MSc MPA IPU, Sekretaris Jenderal PII yang mewakili Bapak Denis Hidayat Sumedinaga. Kepada Bapak Bambang, kami persilahkan. Halo, selamat pagi Bapak. Apakah bisa mendengar suara saya, Pak? Halo, selamat pagi Pak Bambang. Oke, baik. Iya.
Halo, selamat pagi.
Pagi, Pak.
Ya, maaf nih, baru mendarat. Ya, oke.
Tidak
Baik.
apa-apa.
Terima kasih ya.
Pak.
Ini saya baru aja menginjakkan tapi masih on the way. Baik, saya mulai ya. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Pertama-tama saya ingin mengucapkan selamat ya kepada penyelenggara ya, kepada semua para insinyur dan tentunya dari Skills to Make ya yang hari ini akan menjadi narasumber kita dalam rangka webinar Integral Design Method Public Space ya. Saya baru saja datang ya dari Makassar dan kebetulan sekarang sudah mencapai rumah, kan baru landing dari jam 9 ya. Tapi ini menarik sekali ya. Jadi seperti kita tahu bahwa perubahan iklim adalah suatu realitas ya. Suatu hal yang sudah kita alami, sudah kita jalani, dan ini merupakan tantangan kita bersama ya. Kalau kita simak dari berbagai laporan ya, kenaikan suhu bumi itu setiap tahun ya, mulai tahun 2022 ini sampai ke depan ya, 5 tahun ke depan itu rata-rata 1,5 derajat. Ya. Nah, ini sangat riskan ya bagi kehidupan manusia. Dampaknya luas sekali ya. Dan itu bisa dirasakan hampir di seluruh negara ya. Nah, oleh karena itu wajar kalau semua negara sekarang ini sedang berpacu, sedang berusaha keras agar supaya bisa mengatasi, memitigasi atau menekan dampak dari perubahan iklim tersebut ya, climate change ya, melalui inovasi teknologi ya yang dan berbagai upaya lah ya, yang intinya bagaimana kita bisa menghasilkan energi, tetap menghasilkan energi tapi dengan serendah-rendahnya, seminimal mungkin merusak keseimbangan alam ya, merusak ekosistem, merusak yang bisa mengganggu kehidupan manusia ya. Low carbon, zero emission dan sebagainya ya. Dan ini juga kita saksikan ya, negara-negara, hampir semua negara ya berlomba-lomba untuk menjadikan dirinya unggul ya di dalam leading dalam hal membangun negaranya secara sustainable ya. Bahkan Arab Saudi yang menghasilkan minyak bumi ya, negara-negara Timur Tengah juga sangat maju ya di dalam hal mereka berpacu untuk mengembangkan energi yang sustainable ya. Nah, Indonesia juga mempunyai target ya. Menurut catatan kita mempunyai target bahwa tahun sebelum 2020 kita emisi CO2 kita itu berkurang 41% ya. Tapi harus dicatat bahwa Indonesia itu situasinya berbeda ya. Pada saat yang sama kita harus tetap membangun infrastruktur kita. Karena memang kita masih sangat membutuhkan ya masyarakat kita untuk memiliki infrastruktur dan tentunya ini memang mempunyai konsekuensi menimbulkan emisi gas karbon tadi ya. Tapi justru kita juga mempunyai peluang untuk membangun infrastruktur secara green ya. Jadi kalau negara-negara maju dulu sudah membangun lama infrastruktur sehingga sekarang sudah lengkap dan tidak terlalu risau mereka ya, industrialisasi sudah berjalan jauh sebelum kita. Nah, kita sebaliknya kita harus membangun infrastruktur untuk mencapai target-target Sustainable Development Goals ya, dan target-target pembangunan kita. Tapi at the same time we have to do sebaik mungkin ya, se-green mungkin ya. Tapi Indonesia yakin ya bisa menjadi, kita harus yakin bisa menjadi leading country ya di dalam pembangunan yang berkelanjutan. Nah, bagaimana kita bisa melakukan ini, mewujudkan gagasan sustainable cities ya, yang jelas bahwa harus ada sustainable policies, sustainable design, dan penggunaan penerapan teknologi yang advance, pembiayaan yang sustainable, dan project management yang sustainable ya. Nah, pagi ini kita akan mendengarkan paparan-paparan dari narasumber ya, teman kita, rekan-rekan kita dari mancanegara yang akan membawa benchmarking dari Amsterdam ya. Jadi kalau di Amsterdam itu setiap jengkal tanah bagian kota itu sudah disiapkan berlandaskan 4 tantangan ya, selalu take into account 4 hal: climate change, transisi energi, dan fully circular economy, dan growth, economic growth itu. Jadi tetap bertumbuh tapi dengan memperhatikan climate change, transisi energi, fully circular economy, dan pertumbuhan ekonomi. Artinya ya, dalam jangka waktu sampai 2050 ya, setiap ruas jalan di kota Amsterdam itu harus dibuat sedemikian rupa sehingga 100% zero emission, energi netral, dan fully circular. Dan tentu harus tetap memberi keuntungan ekonomi atau manfaat ekonomi ya. Oleh karena itu Amsterdam ya wajar kalau di dalam perkembangannya Amsterdam itu tahun 2015 itu masuk dalam top 10 cities ya yang di dunia yang terkenal, yang dikenal sebagai pembangunannya sangat maju, sangat memperhatikan aspek lingkungan dan mencegah perubahan iklim. Kemudian tahun 2021 dia the second best in the world ya. Dan ini membuat Amsterdam memenangkan award ya di World Landscape Architecture, mendapat penghargaan untuk konsep analysis planning dengan menggunakan integral design method public space ya. Nah, oleh karena itu mari kita simak paparan demi paparan dari expert kita yang hadir pada hari ini sebagai narasumber, dan nanti kita bisa diskusikan, kita perdebatkan, dan kita gali ya hal-hal yang bisa bermanfaat, isu-isu yang bisa bermanfaat bagi pengembangan kota-kota kita, terutama kita sekarang mempunyai hajat yang luar biasa besar, yaitu ibu kota baru yang ada di Kalimantan. Kita harus menjadikan ibu kota baru itu nanti menjadi smart cities, ya, sustainable cities, ya, green cities, ya, dan circular cities, ya, yang semuanya harus sustain. Saya kira itulah yang bisa saya catat ya dari apa agenda hari ini. Mudah-mudahan berjalan lancar, dan sekali lagi terima kasih kepada para narasumber ya, dan saya nggak lupa namanya ya, dan karena tadi sambil membaca orat-orat di pesawat ya. Terima kasih, selamat berwebinar, dan semoga kita selalu sehat dan sukses. Terima kasih. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Terima kasih banyak Pak Bambang atas sambutannya. Seperti yang sudah tadi disampaikan oleh Pak Bambang, begitu ya, kita akan bahas lagi lebih dalam di webinar kali ini, gitu ya. Tadi juga sudah di-mention terkait Amsterdam benchmarking, nanti kita akan bahas lebih lanjut dengan narasumber kita. Baik, sebelum kita masuk ke acara utama, kita akan berfoto bersama terlebih dahulu. Kepada seluruh hadirin yang hadir, boleh dinyalakan kameranya dan pasang senyum terbaiknya. Baik, kita foto bersama terlebih dahulu. Silahkan dinyalakan kameranya, Ibu Bapak sekalian. Baik. Oke, panitia sudah siap ya untuk mengambil gambar. Silahkan dinyalakan kameranya, Ibu Bapak sekalian. Oke. Apakah sudah siap? Baik. 1, 2, 3. Next slide. 1, 2, 3. Slide selanjutnya. 1, 2, 3. Baik, terima kasih banyak Ibu Bapak sekalian. Baik, sekali lagi saya ucapkan terima kasih kepada Pak Bambang sudah meluangkan waktunya ya Pak ya. Tadi baru sampai.
Ya, saya ikut mendengarkan, tapi saya tidak video. Ya.
Baik.
Oke, terima kasih. Salam sehat.
Salam sehat juga Bapak. Baik, hadirin sekalian, kita akan langsung masuk saja ke acara utama pada webinar kali ini. Kita akan dengarkan langsung begitu ya, bahwa di webinar kali ini kita akan discuss gitu ya bersama arsitek, designers, engineers juga dengan project manager terkait Indonesian version of visi atau visi infrastruktur Indonesia berkelanjutan and the design method of Amsterdam. Sebelum kita perkenalkan speaker kita, selanjutnya disilakan untuk ditayangkan CV-nya. Oke. Ini dia CV narasumber kita, Demi Matthews Sizan. Dia adalah co-founder dari Sysnesia. Experience-nya tentu sudah banyak begitu ya di di dunia integral design method public space ini. Beliau merupakan coaching atau training partner Indonesia di Skills to Max dari tahun 2020 hingga saat ini. Beliau juga merupakan co-founder dan Chief Human Capital Development dari PT Sysnesia Teknologi Semesta dari tahun 2021 sampai saat ini, dan juga merupakan co-founder dan Global Strategic Advisor dari PT Sysnesia Energi Nusantara 2021 sampai saat ini. Baik, langsung saja tanpa berlama-lama lagi, please welcome Demi Matthews Sizan.
Selamat siang semua. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can.
Okay, good. So Saya mencoba bahasa Indonesia ya, tapi belum benar. And when I explain specific knowledge, I want to be clear instead of not confusing. Welcome all. Thank you for joining. Selamat datang semua. Saya Demi Heze. Saya ahli Human Resource Management dan Community Development dari Belanda. Saya datang di sini 2016 dan through my work I build a big network of experts because karena saya recruitment semua ahli di Belanda di electrical dan mechanical and for the government and for the bigger companies. Because of that I build up a network. And kapan saya datang di sini, saya mau mencoba Indonesia. Saya orang Indonesia, lahir Belanda, tapi hati Indonesia ya. So when I came here, I wanted to help Indonesia with a lot of technical solutions, and I have many friends with high-tech solutions, proven technology for decades, longer, like. Plastic waste management, infrastructure development, sustainable transition from buildings. The Belanda and Europa, we have the energy prestation indicator, or the EPA, how we call that, and then we certify all the buildings for the CO2 emission. And all my friends that I work with develop those tools for the European Commissions and the Dutch government. And then later when I was in Indonesia, I saw that banyak bule come here with technology. And thanks to Professor Suhono and Afan Hidayat, I came in touch with ITB, and then I met a lot of experts in Indonesia. And then I learned that Indonesia don't need any technology from outside of Indonesia. Indonesia is really smart. Today we are here at PII, Persatuan Ingenieur Indonesia, and banyak orang pintar. So you don't need that. And Indonesian experts have also the experience. So it doesn't need much trial. So when I wanted to search for something I could help Indonesia with, I run into, as we said before, Indonesia ingin pintar proses untuk negara berkelanjutan. And in Belanda, we have a system, and that's what I'm going to explain today. We have a system where the government obliges all the constructors to work to sustainable tender management and tender demands, and then automatically push all the Dutch companies to innovate on sustainability and circularity. And as mentioned before, Amsterdam brought these policies to a higher level, and normally we did it with single objects, and Amsterdam projected it on the whole city, the public space of the whole city, and it also includes the buildings. You have to imagine a small bangku dengan pohon is already studied with those tools and approach methods. And last year, 2 years ago, I talked to the team of Amsterdam and asked them permission to publish this book and their design methods in Indonesia. I will explain more in the seminar. Can I share slides, Fitri? Yeah. Okay.
Sure. Boleh
Yeah. It's the wrong one, but I will switch to the right one. So saya buat efisiëntie infrastruktuur sustainable Indonesia. Nama Belanda duurzaam GWW. Ini metode berpikir untuk tender management from comparable with Kementerian PUPR. So this is already used in Belanda for more than 20 tahun. So I made the slides in bahasa, so saya mencoba baca ini ya. Kalau kita berpikir tentang pembangunan berkelanjutan, always we hear sustainability dan energi. And when we talk about energy, we talk about uang. And this is the basic perception of the whole world if we talk about climate change. And that is wrong. And why is it wrong? I will explain that in the next slides. Jadi bagaimana negara lain melakukannya? Amsterdam, as said before, was number 4 in the research of National Geographic based on people, planet, and profit. And Rotterdam, next to it, was number 5. This always go up and down. Dalam di 2019 Amsterdam nomor 11, maaf. So they were out of the top 10 for a while. And Jakarta, as you can see, number 46 in 2015. Saya tidak tahu sekarang, baik. And then also what's mentioned before, last year, Amsterdam was named by the Time Out as second best green city in the world, best city to live. And that's of course honorable. So bagaimana mereka bisa sampai di sana tanpa investasi besar? So how do you make and create sustainability without big investments? Because in Belanda, we didn't invest in sustainable technologies. We invested in management and anchoring our goals for the Paris Agreement. Proses berpikir cerdas paling efektif pada tahap awal proyek apapun. Ini menjadikan proyek yang paling berkelanjutan sesuai anggaran. Biaya konstruksi lebih rendah, menciptakan keuntungan tertinggi. How? Dengan menggunakan metode pengembangan proyek berkelanjutan bersama dengan semua pemangku kepentingan yang terlibat dalam proyek. Meaning involving everybody from the project. That means the pemerintah, that means the local pemerintah, that means the constructors, the installation companies for the electric and other things, and also the community and the people that are going to use the infrastructure. And together you can bring the maximum sustainability and also achieve your goals and make sure that it is implemented in the project. Also in Belanda, we had the problem, we make a lot of kebijakan untuk sustainability, tapi it was not executed. So we needed a system to make sure that what we want also is realized in the project and achieved. And then mainly Amsterdam and Rotterdam focused on that. So visi bersama yang didukung oleh Kementerian Infrastruktur atau PUPR, nama Belanda Duurzaam GRW. Then already 15 years in Belanda, we use 4 tools: Sustainable Scan, Ambition Web, DuboCalc, and Precision Ladder. I will explain that a little bit more later. Kami percaya Indonesia dapat mengambil manfaat dari proses ini dan dengan bimbingan dalam mengembangkan proyek berkelanjutan yang tidak melibatkan investasi tambahan. I keep repeating, how do you do that without the investment? Dengan hanya menggunakan proses ini di setiap proyek dan membuat setiap proyek lebih berkelanjutan sesuai anggaran yang dianggarkan. And Indonesia already is there. I was at the Bay with the opening and the kickoff of SDG 1. And of course, Indonesia signed also the Paris Agreement with their own goals. So again, how do we do that? City of Amsterdam, they brought it to a higher level, as mentioned before, and they want to make the city based on 4 themes: climate change, energy transition, circular city, and growth of the city. Banyak orang pikir Amsterdam kota besar, tidak. Ini desa besar. Sekarang 800,000 orang di sana dan growth untuk tumbuh untuk 1 juta orang. So before 2050, Amsterdam wants to become fully sustainable, climate and energy neutral, and fully circular. And already busy on that. In Indonesia memiliki banyak infrastruktur baru untuk dibangun dan oleh karena itu dapat dengan cepat menerapkan metode pembangunan berkelanjutan ini. As of Indonesia, that gives a lot of things. This is Richard. Richard is my friend. Richard is partner of myself, me, and also Richard is the national sustainable expert for many companies and the government, and he's also one of the people who developed the methods. You have a little thing to say.
Dear Indonesia, dear Synthesia, and dear Damien, my friend, I can't be with the presentation today because I'm traveling, but I wish you all the good luck, and I want to introduce you why we designed the integrated method for Amsterdam. What we saw is that if you want to have a climate neutral city where people are happy, live longer, and have a healthy environment, we have to do things differently than we do today. We can design a good building, we can design a good part of the outer space, but what we don't do is design a complete city where people are healthy, live longer, and the outer space is connected with all the facades and the buildings. So we made a total energy study of the area. You see it like here, we calculated, we looked up all the methods, and we designed all the different profiles together, so we have a good outer space and good buildings. What we see now in Amsterdam, that we win a lot of prizes now, but it's not because building is the best or other thing. No, we designed a complete, really good city where every chain is connected to each other. So extra chain is getting better. So at the end we have a really good city. I wish you all the good luck with the presentation, and say hi here from the Netherlands. Bye.
Yeah, tamam saya. Richard was on holiday when he made this video to make it for us a little bit more sustainable. So Amsterdam telah mengambil betakan nasional ini ke tingkat lain dengan mengembangkan sebuah buku yang menggunakan metode ini, dan di mana setiap bagian kecil kota diproyeksikan di dalam visi ini dan dielaborasi alat-alat. So this video will explain what Amsterdam did dalam bahasa Inggris dan Indonesian subtitle. What we did is Amsterdam invested a lot of money to redesign the whole city, and not just redesign. Richard worked since 2016 in the area daerah Amstelstad, and made a plan to make Amstelstad energy neutral before 2030. And Kota Amsterdam liked it so much, they wanted that for the whole city. And then they invested to choose 4 teams from the 12 teams we have in the tools to focus on what I said before: climate change, energy transition, growth of the city, and circularity. And those designs were published in the book, but also the research. This is a video. Video ini menjelaskan metode Amsterdam, right? Tidak metode Belanda. Oh, internet.
Integral design method, public space. Over the past 2 years, a number of parties have worked on the Amstelstad case study. That has resulted in an integral design method for public space. A design method that will be further developed by the City of Amsterdam. An integral design method is needed because Amsterdam is about to undergo a major transition powered by 4 major challenges. The first is climate change, which will cause extreme weather, bringing more rain, dry spells and heat waves. This has serious consequences for public space, resulting in less natural buffer capacity, less healthy soil life and less biodiversity. The second major challenge is the energy transition to renewable, sustainable sources of energy. The aim is to use no natural gas and to possess the required green energy for the digital needs of society by the year 2040. Third, in response to the increasing scarcity of raw materials, is the ambition to create a fully circular economy by 2050. And finally, the growth of the city. The prognosis for Amsterdam is 1 million inhabitants within 15 years, so tens of thousands of new homes are needed. Measures to address these 4 major challenges all call for more space below ground where little or none is available, space for extra cables and pipes, and also buffering of water and greenery. Almost every street in Amsterdam will have to change within the next 20 years. An integral climate-resilient design calls for a strategy. First of all, a revision of our understanding of the term public space. In the new method, it is divided into 3 layers: soil, ground level, and buildings with their facades and roofs. So all measures of the major assignments have their place. But the planning process itself also needs revising. The municipality must consult with network operators sooner concerning investment, final obligations and contracts. That is because the 4 assignments call for networks that can only be solved at an in-between scale. That is the scale at which not only the main connecting structures of soil, greenery and traffic are to be found, but also the municipal network of cables and pipes for water, energy and data. Examples of in-between scale projects are Eiburg, Havenstad and Amstelstad. For an integrally designed public space, the replacement periods and the management of the various assets must become transparent. Because this will open up opportunities for better contracting, maintenance and cost saving. The new design method consists of 5 important parts. Part 1. Drawing up an inventory of the frameworks of national, provincial and municipal policy for the entire plan area on the basis of 7 area-wide themes. Each area theme leads to a number of spatial assignments. An analysis of maps determines the level of ambition for each theme. This is done with the so-called Ambitieweb. It sheds light on the sustainable project ambitions and forms an important assessment criterion during the tender process. Part 2 consists of formulating general performance goals for each area theme. These help to translate the overall strategy for a plan area into location-specific performances, such as at Frederiksplein, where a lot more greenery has been planted for local water buffering and a green connection, and a bicycle street where cars are guests has also been created. Then parts 3 and 4, where within the scale levels, for example a whole area, network or a building site, the suitable measures are selected. And finally part 5, in which the underlying resulting details are chosen. This is about finding the most integral combinations. Part 1 and 2 are completed for both the plan area and the sub-areas. All 5 parts are completed in programming the street profiles. On the basis of this, the streets within each area development are designed. Amstelstad is taken as a case study to show how it works. Amstelstad is an elongated zone between Amstelstation and the AMC hospital. A project at a real in-between scale with 7 sub-areas, each with their own identity and assignment. The key assignment for Amstelstad is the sustainable transformation and intensification of its southeastern flank, including better infrastructure, more homes and amenities with no loss of employment opportunities. First, the soil layers in Amstelstad were analyzed, and the water level in the polders and the environmental hygiene. To assess climate resistance, stress tests were carried out on the basis of the Climate Impact Atlas. In addition, charts were compiled to represent the situations concerning drought, heat and flooding. Then, the current policy frameworks for the plan area were studied. For each area theme, maps of the underlying spatial assignments were drawn up. The maps for Amstelstad were also translated into axonometric drawings. The map analyses determined the strategy and technical approach to public space. Then the ambitions are defined and the performance goals selected. First for Amstelstad, then for each sub-area, and then for typological profiles of streets. Like the Hogeheelweg, an unremarkable 50 km/h street in Amstelstad. This will become a compact urban neighborhood street with a complex mixture of businesses and homes. The Ambitieweb is also deployed for Hogeheelweg at street level. The top 3 ambitions determine the performance goals. The selected performance goals facilitate an integral approach. Based on the global performance goals, specific measures are selected, divided into 5 scale levels at which designers work. Then, for each area theme, the most suitable details were chosen depending on the street profile. The aim is to find combinations that result in win-win situations. In the profile, various details are drawn above each part of the street. For example, the service lane. Do you allocate space for a tree, a spot to park a bicycle, or an underground automated waste collection system? After multiple tryouts with resulting details, the most suitable combination emerges, and that forms the basis for the eventual street. It will be a neighborhood street with wide sidewalks used by local traffic at a maximum speed of 30 km an hour. Children can play here. Greenery dominates the streetscape. Space below ground is efficiently organized, with assets arranged together as compactly as possible. Using the data and relations between the assets, you can also detail a complex 3D model quite quickly. That allows you to calculate the overall performances and the underlying assets at an early stage. In conclusion, the power of the new method lies in the combination of access to all data, strategic programming together with network operators, and long-term alignment of investments. That results in integral and innovative solutions. Climate change and the energy transition call for proactive action. That makes the new integral design method for public space even more urgent. The publication consists of 2 volumes: Amstelstad Case Study, with a description of the new work method, and the Handbook, with a catalogue of measures and resulting details for programming and designing. Now it's time to develop this design method further together.
So ini contoh, how do you say that? This is the ultimate example of the use of the tools. 2 tahun terakhir saya telah bekerja keras dan berdiskusi dan berkoordinasi dengan mitra-mitra saya tentang bagaimana membawa buku ini ke Indonesia yang sekarang sudah siap dan tersedia dalam bahasa Indonesia. Visi is the background of the method of Amsterdam. The basic tools are, I'm going to explain here, saya menjelaskan di alat-alat, are the basis of the design method of Amsterdam. Amsterdam is nothing more than the ultimate example how you can use the method for a whole city. But we can also use it for a simple house or an apartment complex or a shopping mall or a toll road or a new factory. We can use it for anything because it's based on the 17 SDGs. We made Visi. What did I do? Saya minta ahli di Belanda, negara Belanda, permisi untuk ownership of the intellectual property for Indonesia, and I got that, and they sent me all the knowledge documents. In Belanda, TU Delft, Technical University Delft, together with their partners, give training to project developers in Visi atau duurzaam GWW. Visi infrastruktur Indonesia ini adalah proses bagaimana menjangkar kebijakan ke eksekusi dan juga bagaimana memotivasi kontraktor untuk terus berinovasi dalam pembangunan dan solusi yang berkelanjutan. Kami membuat ini berdasarkan dokumen pengetahuan pendekatan pembangkang proyek berkelanjutan untuk infrastruktur Belanda. Already implemented in Belanda more than 15 years that led to Amsterdam and Rotterdam as most sustainable cities of the world. Pertama, sustainable scan, pendamaian berkelanjutan. Kami telah membuat dan menjemahkan alat pendamaian berkelanjutan Belanda. We simply copy-paste the knowledge documents, translated it, and adopted it to Indonesian. Ambition Web, or how I call it in Indonesia, metode design Indonesia berkelanjutan, MDIB tool. Kami memiliki alat metode design berkelanjutan dengan Ambition Web Belanda. I will explain a little bit more after this. Yeah, this is the basic tool that Amsterdam used on every component in their tanah, jalan, dan buildings. Then we have 2 other tools that we do not have in Indonesia and will not do yet. In the future, bersama dengan para ahli Indonesia, kami akan membangkang alat untuk membangkang indikator material dan tanggal kinerja CO2. Cobecalc is based on the product life cycle of the materials that you use, similar to what SNE already have, and then with an extra indicator. Ini adalah proses life cycle object infrastructure. If you take the 6 phases that we have in a project, that is the inisiasi, rencana, design, konstruksi, management, pemeliharaan, when we use the building, and pembongkaran, when we get rid of the building and want to reuse it. The best moment to start is at the initiation phase with the pendamaian berkelanjutan. Then, alat ini dikembangkan dalam tahapan siklus hidup, setiap proses untuk memastikan keberkelanjutan maksimum dan sirkularitas bahan 100%. These are the tools that you use in every phase. Pendamaian berkelanjutan, that's only for the initiation phase, and there you measure what we already have and what we want to improve, and then we will project that in every phase and also discuss it in every phase. Okay. Dan pendamaian berkelanjutan, situasi saat ini telah dipetakan dan target ditetapkan di area berikut dalam 12 tema untuk proyek masa depan untuk fase inisiasi proyek. As you saw in the Amsterdam video, they chose 4, and for the local they chose 7, and then they chose 12. Right? So you have social, kenyamanan, adaptasi iklim, energi, langit, suara, mobilitas, air, bahan, keamanan, tanah, and migrasi iklim. This is to scan the present situation of where you're going to build a project. Then we have the ambition web or the metode MDIB. Hasilnya menjadi dasar MDIB, mana kami bersama-sama menentukan tema mana yang diprioritaskan. Ini harus menjadi persyaratan proyek untuk setiap tender. Setiap tema memiliki subtema yang dibagi 3 kelompok, yaitu people, planet, and profit. You don't choose all, you choose the one you need the most. For planet, we have 5 tema: energi, bahan, air, permukaan, and ekologi. For people, we have penggunaan ruang, kualitas ruang, kesejahteraan, and relevansi sosial. And then for profit, we have accessibility like infrastructure, roads, investasikan, and iklim business. Those are the most important, because in the end, every project developer tidak mau berkelanjutan. They mau profit. And that's the main challenge in sustainable development. Pada setiap tahap Anda mengevaluasi MDIB berulang kali untuk memantau kemajuan, mendiskusikan hal-hal yang tidak terduga untuk melakukannya, ulangi langkah-langkah ini setiap hari. Every step of the phase, you repeat the same steps. Kenapa? Every project developer that is here now, dia tahu things change, and then we always have to adapt the themas. Cost, maybe not possible, maybe the policy, the kebijakan change. So everything can change. So we do it in every step again and again and again. And it's very simple. You saw the themas. What we do is we have a program where every member of the platform will give a score on the themas, and the highest score win. That means that democratically, same orang involved in the project decide democratically which teams are the most important. And then what you do is score is 1, 2, or 3. Level 1, that's simply policy, kebijakan untuk pemerintah. So our building construction that is decided in Indonesia by PUPR, as far as I know. And then we have level 2, what we can do better as normal. And then we have level 3, what can we make the most sustainable and what needs the most attention. Waste management, energy, atau ekonomi sosial, atau circularity, management sampah. We choose with 1, 2, 3, and then in an Excel sheet it will be calculated, and then in the end there will be an output like this. And then you will see that which teams are the most important to focus on for the project. So in step 1, pertama, terjemahkan kebijakan keberkelanjutan organisasi itu sendiri ke dalam MDIB, dan kemudian ini dapat digunakan sebagai dasar untuk menyelesaikan MDIB untuk proyek tersebut. Selain itu, gunakan konteks khusus proyek untuk menyermakan tujuan kota, di mana peluang unik dan apa yang dianggap lebih penting oleh pemangku kepentingan. And the most important step, langkah 2, kemudian tentukan tingkat ambisi per tema, pendidikan dan dampaknya pada proyek. 3 tema level 3, 3 tema level 2, 6 tema level 1, as we always do. Langkah 3, terjemahkan tingkat ambisi menjadi tujuan nyata dan indikator kinerja. Indikator ini harus kuantitatif dan jika memungkinkan, tetapi jika hal ini tidak mungkin atau diinginkan, indikator kinerja kualitatif dapat digunakan. And in the whole process, it will look like this. Ini kiri proses normal, dan implementasikan MDIB, proses baru. And then in the Persatuan Konstruksi, you guarantee full sustainable development and central tuntuan klien functional pada level tertinggi, meaning that everybody is involved and agree. Dari perspektif kebijakan pemerintah ini dalam proses penjematan kebijakan yang berkelanjutan. I will say this in English. When you are a painter, you use palette and you use a canvas and you have all the colors to paint. The palette is the method, MDIB. The colors are all the technical solutions and that we have available and that can be different for every infrastructure. Every infrastructure is unique, so also we have different paint, and then the painting decides will be the end result of what we are making. And in this process, everything is guarded and manageable. So singkatnya, visi dan alat-alat menstatkan bahwa setiap proyek menjadi lebih murah untuk dibangun yang paling berkelanjutan dan most important menguntungkan dibandingkan dengan metodologi saat tanpa set investasi tambahan. So most important is we will have cheaper costs to build a project. We make it most sustainable within the budget and we make it most profitable with these methods. And these methods also make sure that Amsterdam and Rotterdam became more than 10 years, for 15 years, top 10 in the top 10 in the world. So in Indonesia, we are ready for this. Dengan mitra saya, PT Bina Architecture, my friend Reni Tambayong, he's one of our trainers. Dr. Ichan is one of our trainers. And we also get help from Richard. Most important to know is that the training is in Belanda and the method accredited by all the universities, but also all the quality institutions. Methode Design Integral Ruang Public is also available now by Benedict Andy. And we will sell the books or make it available from of now. It can be ordered. And then next to that, Belanda, we made a mistake 40 years ago. The mistake we made was we focused on smart city only. So we focused on mass production of agriculture products. We focused on improving the cities and make them smarter and smarter and smarter. But we forgot something. We forgot the desa. We forgot the villages. So around 8 years ago in Belanda, we changed everything back and we decided to invest in the villages only, because then the cities will improve automatically with it. Why? In the villages, we found out many jobs were lost, social economy were damaged, and the knowledge of the farmers decreased intensity. So we found out that if we improve the villages, that means that less people migrate to the cities because there's more job diversity. The social economy will improve and it's easier to manage, and the city will reclaim its function to import the necessary products for the life of other people from the villages. So in Indonesia, we now created Desa Abad 21 that is actually focused on developing and improving the Desa. And we also are now negotiating for the first pilot in Jawa Barat. Terima kasih. This was all. Maaf ya, saya mencoba bahasa Indonesia, tapi I want you to know the real thing. If you have any questions, I will later. And I give the word back to Fitri.
Okay, thank you for explanation, Demi. For the first slide, I think there was interesting that you have mentioned before that Amsterdam is in the 4th place, right? and Indonesia is in 46 place. So I want to ask you, so how can Indonesia be the same as the Netherlands? So, and how long can we achieve that?
Well, let's be really enthusiastic about this then, because the reason I bring it here is because, as you heard in the video, Amsterdam have to change their streets for the coming 20 years. That means they studied the method, they will improve it along the way, and they have 20 years to develop. I decided to bring this method here in Indonesia because if we bring it the diplomatic way, it will take 2, 3, 4, 5 years to get something like that normally in Indonesia. So, contoh IKN baru, let's say it like that. Imagine that we would use these methods from the initiation phase that is now happening onto IKN baru. And that will mean that the first hectare that we build in IKN baru will be part of the most sustainable capital in the world. That means that Indonesia will not be equal to Belanda, but will be one step ahead of the rest of the world. And my team in Amsterdam and also in Indonesia, they will help and assist how to do this. We want to do this low budget. We want to do this business to business. We want to do this to make Indonesia #1.
Okay, thank you, Tim. So, for the first panelist, please welcome Dr. Eng Insinyur Ahmad Sarwadi, maybe for giving a comment.
Oke,
Ahmad.
terima kasih. Terima kasih moderator Bu Fitri, and good morning Pak Kemi Hazen. Yeah. So I think it is a very interesting presentation. So I have some comment, but maybe not only about what you have present material, but also maybe some information about Indonesian condition related to sustainable city, eco-city, or also the effort of Indonesian government and community to make a sustainable city. Mungkin saya juga akan campuran, Bapak Ibu. Jadi pertama komen saya, my comment first is tentang integral design method public system. I think it's very good. Maybe this is a best practice, excellent best practice. Bagaimana membuat sebuah kota atau kawasan to make area part of city or city as a whole to be sustainable city or eco city. Yes, ini sangat menarik sekali. Kata kuncinya adalah di integral. The keyword is integral. So it mean bahwa ini mencakup banyak aspek untuk tercapainya sebuah sustainability. So there are many aspects to achieve sustainability in the city. Memang di dalam kita membicarakan sustainable atau sustainability, ada 3 poin pokok. Kalau kita bicara sustainable development, itu tentang environment, kemudian ekonomi, dan sosial. Jadi harus ada persoalan environmental protection, harus ada economic stability atau growth juga, dan social, and also usually culture including social responsibility. Nah, itu nampaknya integral design method ini juga mencakup itu dari semua aspek dia lakukan di dalam situ. Jika saya melihat tadi, satu hal yang menarik tadi ada presentasi berkaitan dengan alat yang untuk bisa mengembangkan indikator biomaterial dan tangga kerja emisi CO karbon dioksida. I think this is very important, and also this is very give a benefit and useful for all people to know about carbon dioxide emission, whole level carbon dioxide emission in the city. Saya pikir ini sangat bagus sekali ya untuk memantau itu. Jadi kalau ini sedang dikembangkan oleh Pak Dami Hasan and Friends, saya dan kerjasama dengan teman-teman di Indonesia, saya pikir ini sangat-sangat penting ya untuk melihat bagaimana perkembangan emisi CO2 kita. Kemudian yang berikutnya mungkin saya komentari juga tentang scan tadi ya, menarik sekali ketika dikatakan pemindahan berkelanjutan, sustainable scan ya, dengan ada banyak poinnya. Saya menyebutnya ICS ecological accounting, jadi mencoba melihat kota itu di scan, diamati atau dipindai di scan itu sehingga mengetahui level-level tingkat keekologisan atau level of keramah tahaman pada lingkungan ya, seperti green rating gitu ya, pada sebuah kawasan. Indonesia government and also community also have a green rating system to have develop a green rating prinsip ya. For example, Indonesia also GBJI, Green Building Council Indonesia, also have a green rating system for houses, I mean home, for building, new building, all existing building, and also for neighborhoods. Kemudian di Kementerian PU juga sudah ada tentang aturan-aturan semacam guideline for bangunan gedung hijau, green building. And also there is also community, it mean NGO, like NGO, non-profit organization like Muhammadiyah also have ALIM, Audit Lingkungan Mandiri Muhammadiyah. It also have developed its system, green rating system for lower building, bangunan 1 sampai 3 lantai kira-kira gitu untuk bangunan-bangunan sekolah di lingkungan Muhammadiyah. Ini sangat menarik. Nah, jadi tapi saya belum melihat, tadi sudah diterangkan tentang pemindahan scan itu, pemindahan berkelanjutan, ini sangat menarik sekali, sehingga saya pikir kalau nanti kita bisa melihat itu sangat menarik ya, seperti apa sistemnya, bagaimana menilainya, scoring dan sebagainya, alatnya seperti apa. Ini menurut saya sangat menarik ya. Kalau di kita yang ada baru ya penilaian tingkat kegrinan atau itu green rating system. Kemudian yang berikutnya saya komentari juga tentang tadi dikatakan ada satu hal, ini isu yang lain. Kalau tadi di konteks kota Amsterdam, itu yang menjadi fokus adalah for case of Amsterdam City is climate change, energy transition, and circular economy, and also growth of the city. Yeah. Di Indonesia, and many city on many towns, there are many problem. The main problem is garbage, sampah the main problem. Kemudian also flood banjir ya. Kemudian langsung masih ada juga tentang many city Indonesia until now have not yet been as green, not enough greenery. I mean RTH, ruang terbuka publik, green space still very limited. I mean not limited, but there are standard in Indonesia. The city must have 30% area of the city as a greenery, but until now only not all of the city have green city until 30% ya. Ini problemnya. Jadi belum 30% area kota sebagai area hijau, area ruang terbuka itu belum tercapai. Ini juga problem. Kemudian ya kalau di bidang arsitektur dan kota, beberapa kota telah berubah local identity-nya ya mulai ada agak tergerus di period ya. Ya ini problem juga. Nah, it is very interesting when I saw about case of Amsterdam ya. Tentu saja berbeda konteks, but I think integral design method sangat menarik untuk diterapkan to be implemented in Indonesian city. Ya, saya pikir menarik walaupun case-nya berbeda. Ya. Saya pikir menarik. Kemudian saya ingin komentari di kita yang paling penting Pak Dami Hasan adalah perhitungan kemanfaatan atau hitungan ekonomi, ya ekonomi. Kalau kita, menurut saya dari pengalaman, kalau kita bisa memberikan bahwa ketika dengan sistem yang tadi dikatakan sistem yang ditawarkan oleh Pak Demi dan kawan-kawan itu bisa lebih murah, itu sangat menarik sekali. Karena selalu ditanya begitu, karena biasanya usually investasi untuk green building, also green city biasanya more expensive than conventional building. Tetapi dalam jangka panjang biasanya dalam hitungan theoretically is lower cost. So ini harus bisa benar-benar disampaikan dengan bukti-bukti sehingga akan menarik. Di Indonesia sebenarnya sudah ada bukti gedung PU itu penggunaan energi listriknya kecil sekarang. Bila teman saya yang ahli green buildingnya itu dia jauh turun penggunaan energi listriknya dengan pendekatan desain green building. Nah, kita memang masih perlu sangat memberikan tekanan pada ini akan lebih murah karena begitu people know for investation is more expensive, maybe people will think about that. It is okay for capacity of funding from local government. Ya, ini our private sector. Jadi perhitungan ini menjadi sangat penting ya untuk disampaikan bahwa ini untung secara ekonomi. Kemudian tantangan, menurut saya tantangan yang kalau kita mau menerapkan tadi sistem yang ditawarkan oleh Pak Demi Hasan itu pertama adalah memberikan kita harus promotion atau campaign maybe about the importance of sustainability principle in construction or in developing developing city or and also in for city I think is very important. Second, kita harus juga meyakinkan, make sure bahwa the system itu memberikan keuntungan, bermanfaat untuk kepada government karena tentu saja salah satu penting pihak stakeholder yang penting dalam hal ini adalah government. Seperti Kementerian PU, Ministry of Public Works juga sudah punya peraturan tentang bangunan hijau. So I think ini sudah baik sejalan sehingga kalau kebijakan ini akan makin sistem-sistem yang lebih luas, not only green building but also city, saya pikir sangat menarik ya. Dan ini dan sistem yang ditawarkan Pak dicontohkan oleh temannya Pak Demi, saya pikir sangat menarik. Kemudian tadi untuk swasta, private sector, yang paling penting memberikan informasi bahwa ini memberi keuntungan, beri benefit for finance. Jadi financial benefit is very important for private sector in Indonesia. Kalau kita bisa mengatakan bahwa sistem ini yang ditawarkan ini akan memberikan keuntungan, financial benefits. I think will be many people, many private sector will receive that system. Saya pikir itu catatan dari saya dan saya pikir sangat bagus sekali dan saya menunggu bukunya yang katanya mau diterjemahkan, ditransit ke Indonesia dan I'm waiting that book Pak Demi Hasan. Saya sangat ingin membacanya buku tersebut secara lengkap ya sehingga saya bisa understand dengan lebih baik ya tentang sistem yang ditawarkan. Untuk sementara itu, Mbak Bu Fitri Anissa, thank you very much. Pak Azen, thank you very much for your presentation. Good luck.
Baik, terima kasih banyak Bapak atas tanggapannya. Mungkin boleh langsung ditanggapi lagi oleh Demi. Silahkan.
Yeah, I heard what Ahmad said, and from the last thing you said is that for the private sector, it's important to have financial benefit from this. Also for the government, why nobody wants sustainability? We have to do sustainability because the world asking for it, the environment asking for it. But our climate and our civilization is built on profit. And that's a system that we have in our economy. So the most important is that when we build something, it has to be beneficial for all. We want to have a good life. We want to become 100 years old. We want to be happy. And we want to have a lot of money to do everything. So these are combined in these clusters. And that should be the SDGs. If you talk about development within a project, like what you said before, Sampa. Sampa, Belanda, is not gratis and cost a lot of money. What I see here in Indonesia is that we try to build waste solutions, and because they're really mahal, we need investors to build them, and that's why it goes really slow. In Belanda, everyone pay for it. Every citizen and every company pay for the Sampa to the DJP in Belanda, and that money is used to build waste facilities, and that's why we have a good waste management. But it's not for free. It's a return on investment of 60 to 70 years for the installations that we have right now. And what we do now is we take the municipal waste originally, and then we burn it to energy. And then because of all the sustainable innovation, now we have certain methods to make the waste more valuable, to make it into reusable products like pupuk, like diesel, all kinds of different technologies that will make it cost less. But you have to imagine all those fancy technologies that you hear in the world about waste to money. The factories we have in Belanda right now, they didn't achieve their return on investment yet, meaning we cannot build the new solutions. Meaning it's a waste of innovation, time and money to focus on that only. What we need to do is to work to an integral solution that we can implement new solutions. And there's a chance for Indonesia because, to say it really rude, Indonesia have nothing yet, meaning we can do anything we want. So if we would take the palette of the solutions that are most suitable for Indonesia, I was in Desa last weekend, Desa Giri Mukti, and they have also the Sampa problem. And what they do is they instructed all the people in the community to collect the waste, and then the organic goes into pupuk, and the non-organic waste gets collected and picked up by the waste collectors. And that means that it goes already out of the village and not in the river and not in the environment. And the only way waste management works is when everyone in 1 square meter will pick everything up and don't throw it on the floor and throw it in a trash can. That's the first thing, mindset, right? Then we talk about city development, sustainability. We should not aim for 100%. We should aim for highest within budget, 20, 30, 40%. Why do I say that? Because if you look at Amsterdam, number 4, number 5, number 6, number 9, number 1, number 2, it doesn't matter how high they are in the top 10 most sustainable cities. What matters is how much percentage of the city is really sustainable. And if you look at the Dua Lima Plus, at that moment, Amsterdam was number 4, and mostly in business and economy. But that was maybe only 5% of the whole city. And if the top 5 have 5% of the whole city, that's actually really bad in the whole world. And Jakarta was number 46, Fitri, but you said. But Jakarta was for number 46 with 2%. So 2% and 5% is none. It's, to me, sustainability doesn't exist yet, right? So that means, but these kind of methods, if we can make it to 20, 30, 40, or new project, 100, then we have the ambition to grow fast. And that's also why I believe with implementing these kind of methods, we can bring Indonesia one step ahead of the rest of the world. Because why? We are building new infrastructures from nothing here. Yes, Jakarta is a big problem, but not as big as Amsterdam. Many people have the imagination that Amsterdam is so great because it's beautiful, no sampah, blah, blah, blah. You have not enough traffic problems like Jakarta, but that is not true. Amsterdam only have 800,000 orang. That's one city block in Jakarta. If you would blow up Amsterdam, the same size of Jakarta, with 20 juta orang, then Amsterdam would have more problems than Jakarta. So Indonesia should be proud how far they brought Jakarta already, instead of looking outside. I'm here speaking with PII, Persatuan Engineer Indonesia. You did a really great job. I'm sure that not many Pinter people in Belanda can solve the problems that you already solved. If you look at what damage you had and what you need to gain. So most importantly is that we want to improve the life of the people. And let's start with the desas. The less people go to the city, the less problems we have in the city. And if we go into the city, we should think about infrastructure problems, like where do we put the cables? Where do we do the infrastructure? Do we underground, up the ground? You saw in the movie of Amsterdam that here in Indonesia we have the wooden pole with all the spaghetti from the district on it. In Belanda we have the same, only then we have it underground. We hide it, right? That's why you don't see it, but it's not different. It's only different location. Yeah, so we can do a lot about this. And as architecture and landscape expert, Ahmad, thank you for your feedback. I'm not an expert. I'm just an autodidact who learns really fast. And I spoke with thousands of experts in the world and in my recruitment period. And that's why I learned a lot about this topic and why I love Indonesia and want to help here. So Fitri, I give the word to you again. Thank you, Ahmad. If you want to say
Thank you, Pak Demi. Thank you.
We can fight a little bit more after Pak Habibie, yeah?
Yeah. Okay. Sip.
Wait for the explanation, Demi. So thank you for the feedback, Mr. Ahmad Sarwadi. Okay, we have a question from Mr. Theo Jantoko. So, to build new city or community and the city to be developed are very different things. How can we plan the new city to be synchronized with population needs in sustainable? Indonesia just planned the IKN. How can we manage to face the future development? Is it to be preparing land acquisition too? So we just prepare the FS of Aerocity. What is the first priority? Demi, mungkin oke, boleh langsung dijawab.
The first priority is that we need to talk with each other. We need to make one plan from everybody that works. If you look at Indonesia right now, if we talk about IKN, I meet a lot of people about IKN, and I already met maybe 12 different parties who are focusing on IKN. And they're all telling how great they're going to do it, but nobody talks with each other. We talk about people from landscaping, architecture, engineering, community development, land property. We should sit on one table. And in this case, the question before that about what do we do first, and environment. Then we use a sustainable scan where we democratically choose our priorities, single from every party. And then democratically, we decide together which we are going to focus on. And so would it be the land property? If the land is not ours, then we have to buy it if we need it. If not, we have to find another solution. But those things can only be found when we sit on the table all together. That's the short answer. Is that what you wanted to hear? Pak Wujantoko? Is that what you wanted to hear?
Yes, thank you, Pak. I just prepared about the AeroCity, how we can prepare the AeroCity for the sustainable to develop the area for the develop the local culture in the Indonesia island here. How can we plan
to involve the people, to involve the community leaders of the local citizen in the negotiations and in the planning? Like I said, you have to get everyone on the table. That means who's going to use this, and as you just said, the local community, meaning they have to be on the table and tell their priorities, and it's the other people on the table that have to make decisions with them, not for them. The last one is the magic word, yeah, with them, not for them. And we have a status.
Yes, I'm agreed.
Yeah, we have a status society in Indonesia. So mostly we do it for them. That's typical Belanda. In Belanda we did the same 50 years ago, but we learned. Then we get demonstrations. Then we get a lot of problems in the future when we're building a project because people don't want to collaborate. And that's why you need everybody on the table to make sure that what we plan is also going to be realized without any how do you call that pushback.
Yes. Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Yes, understand.
You're welcome.
Oke, terima kasih banyak terjawab ya Pak ya. Baik, hadirin sekalian juga dipersilahkan untuk yang ingin bertanya, silahkan tulis pertanyaannya di kolom chat atau mungkin boleh menyalakan kameranya dan bertanya langsung. Oke, before the audience give a question, I want to ask for Demi, could this method applied in urban area like Jakarta, or we have could this method applied also inside area like maybe Tangerang or outside area in Jakarta? Is it possible and easy?
Yes, it's very easy. It's what we did is in Belanda. What we did is 15 years ago when my partner and friend Richard started this. He started in Rotterdam, and then what he did is for single projects, no matter rural, no matter city, no matter village, they sit on the table together. They give a score and they decide together what is the most important, what we want to develop and improve in the area where we're going to build. And then meaning that you can use this anywhere you want. You can use it for a city, you can use it for a single house, lower profit probably, but you can use it for a shopping mall, but you can also use it for a simple road or toll road, or maybe a piece of land that has to be historical to keep the historical value, or maybe environmental protection for coral reefs. This method is meant to make sure that Kebijakan is also implemented and structured the right way, so we can manage the whole situation from top down and down top. So everybody has a say, and everybody has can monitor the project. So can you do it in Jakarta? Can you do it in Tangerang? Of course you can. You can also do it in one building in Jakarta or Tangerang.
Okay, thank you, Demi. So the audience, for giving a question, maybe can write on the text box. Okay. If there's no question, maybe Demi, could you please say some about a closing statement, maybe?
Yeah, we are going to. Oh wait, we are going to push this together with the book. Most important is, from what I explained, that is the method, the basic method, meaning we are going to teach everybody that wants how to use these methods into a sustainable project with cheaper cost, higher sustainable goals fulfillment, and more profit within the budget. And it's not only important for the private sector, but it's also important for the regional, for the daerah, but also for the village. It can also be focused on agriculture or the combination of that. It can be focused on everything. It's about designing the right topics. The 12 teams cover all the sustainable development goals. Energy is only 5% of that. And if I talk about Java, I learned from Java that since the power plant at Cirebon is ready, Java has 40% overcapacity. So we don't need energy of Java, not even renewable energy, not yet. Because why? First, we need to use what we have profitable, meaning we need to invest in the infrastructure of the distribution, transformator stations. How do we supply those 40% to the villages that now have a shortage, that are in the Zona Merah in Java, for example? And how do we do that? And that can be solved nationally. You don't need expert for that. To learn this in the project development, what I did is, I'm going to say it really rude again, I copy paste and the Dutch training and the Dutch content into the Indonesian training. Meaning if, for example, Pak Ahmad have a new project today, then you will come to me. I give you a 3-day training. I will give you a 3-day training with my friends, Pak Randy Atambajong and Dr. Ichan. Dr. Ichan is a sustainable and circular advisor from the government, national government. We will give you a 3-day training how to implement these tools in your project, and then we make together the project or the tender demands. So it's not really an investment. It's actually, normally your team will take 2, 3, 4 months to decide the tender management and the tender goals and the demands. And now we do it in 3 days within the tools. And so the meaning you create a win-win-win situation. It will save you cost for your team because you don't have to pay them 3 months, because in 3 days we will be ready, and then we can start to the Rencana. And meaning it will save you money. It will be a situation where you get a model where you can focus on the right situations on that project. And in my intents, it's I'm just a single guy. Skills to Max is nothing more than a simple brand. Since Deja Energy, my wife is the owner. I'm just the husband who helps them. And for me, it's like this. I do this totally from personal perspective and personal ambition. Okay. It's my dream to make Indonesia #1 in the world. And I truly believe, because of my reputation in Belanda.
Miss Demi.
Yeah.
Sorry, I have a question. What kind of training? Yeah, this is about implementation to implement integral design method, or to implement vision of Indonesia. What you say?
What I say is this: in Belanda we use the approach, the vision that we call duurzaam GWW, sustainable groundwater and soil works, and that's from the Pemerintah. That is developed by our partners. I got the intellectual property behind that, and that is a vision where we decided all together with the government how we want to develop in the future if we talk about sustainability in all our infrastructure. And to make it possible that this kebijakan is also implemented, our experts created a 3-day training with 2 tools. Sustainable Scan, that's the first tool we use when a project starts to see what is the environment, is it good, is the social economy good, how many jobs, how is the mobilitas, how is the to scale the level at that moment, and not based on the situation what one expert see or 2, but based on the opinion of all the people involved in your project. So your team, but also the people that represent the location, the people that represent the community, the owner of the building. So everybody will involve, and they will decide together how we do it and what's already there. And there can be discussion, but that's okay. That's why we do it democratically with the system. Everybody give a score in the computer, and then the computer is the boss, right? And then we have the tool Ambition Web. Ambition Web is 12 teams, and then every single party involved in the project development will choose a score 1, 2, or 3, meaning 1 is what the law says,
Yeah.
how Indonesia describes to do the project. 2, what we can do within the budget.
Yeah.
And 3, what we really want: renewable energy, waste management, social economy, and then everybody on the same table, as the first example, will decide the same scores, and then the computer again will give a graphic how we democratically choose the 3 top teams, and those will be the focus. The 3 sub teams, that will be the second focus, and the six how we always do it. And why do we do it like that? Then you can keep it organized. You can keep it democratically. Everybody agrees, and you don't waste time and money on different parties that want different things along the project. And some want waste management because they are invested in that. The other one want the road building. The other one want social economy. Then you could get all the discussion is gone, and that's the value of this. It's we create the basic of the project development. So then the third thing is when we decided all that, we will make a PVE, a program of demand, for the tender or the project. That means that all the bidders have to subscribe like that. Normally we choose normally we choose the cheapest, but we know now that if we use the template of the tools, then automatically the most sustainable will also be the most cheapest.
Okay. Thank you.
Long answer. There's more to answer this because it's not simple. But the result will be the basic program of demand based on cheaper cost, highest sustainability within the available budget, and the highest profit based on that. And probably also faster build because that automatically makes it cheaper and lowers the CO2 emission.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. So, any questions more, Fitri?
Okay, from the audience, any question maybe? You can write it on the text box or open your cam maybe. I still invite you to ask a question. The Q&A session is still open.
Maybe I can use the time to show more about the book. The book, Ahmad, is available right now.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
We have 15 July. We have a seminar together also with Pak Habibie Razak, where we will have the team of Amsterdam. They will explain more about the book. We invited the team of Pak Basuki to do the keynote speaking, and Benedict Andy is now printing the books, or we are now collecting pre-orders for the book. What I will do is I will share the link of the order form.
Okay.
In the chat box later before we end. But that's just a book. Have to understand, Ahmad. Amsterdam Integral Design Method is the ultimate example of our tools. So instead of a single project, how we do it with the whole city, and then Amsterdam is the first one in the world who bring it to a higher level. They invested more than €5 million in those books. Every drawing in that book is a real detailed design. So it's not a vision. It's not a concept. It's how Amsterdam will really be in about 30 years. Also Amsterdam will be the first in the world to, for example, implement the green donut economy of Kate Raworth. That is now also fully implemented with the Ambition Web. We also created an SDG pyramid, meaning which SDGs has to be implemented first in the right order to create the right basic for the community. A little bit like an SDG Maslow pyramid. So that will be used also in the trainings. The books will be for sale for everybody in PE, it will be with 10% discount, if I'm correct. What I agreed with people. It's not a cheap book, but it's also not a simple book. It's a real book that gives you value for the content, valuable content, especially when you are an expert. If I see it, I see that what I heard from you before, you talked about 30% biodiversity from the original nature in the cities. Okay. That's what you said before. That it's really expensive because you have to bring the trees to the city and transport costs and that kind of stuff. In Blanda, what we now do is when we demolish a street, on a street, we take out all the trees, but we don't destroy them. We give them a new location, and that makes it Mura. So relocating nature that is already there can make a lot of profit. Because then you don't have to import. Any other questions?
Okay, thank you for information, Demi. So we can get the book maybe earlier on 5th July, right? Okay, Demi, I want to ask something. What's your hope for in the future? Oh, okay.
What did you say, Fitri? Sorry.
Okay, the audience, we can get a book by 15th of July, right?
This is the form for pre-order. I just shared it in chat box.
Okay, pre-order.
Simply fill it in, and then Benedict Andy will contact the people.
Okay, thank you, Demi, for information. So I want to ask maybe the last question. What's your hope for Indonesian engineer in the future?
My hope is that, that's also why I promote this. My hope is that Indonesia will become the best country in the world. And Indonesia also have not only the ambition, but also have the opportunity for that. Indonesia have the most resources of any country in the world. We have the most money hidden in the ground as for the rest of the world, and we have to be independent. A few years ago, I wrote an article when I just arrived in Indonesia, and in my opinion, if Indonesia would unite instead of fight each other in the politics, unite together on the Bhinneka, the wings of Bhinneka, how my senior would say it, then we can actually become proud to be Indonesian again. And if we then do that together, we can become really independent. Because now we're only political independent, not financially. And I think that is what Indonesia should do together. I'm born in Blanda, but I'm raised with an Indonesian heart. My grandma and my grandfather raised me as an Indonesian. Saya tidak belajar bahasa. Kenapa? I was very keras as a teenager. Let's say it like that. So they wanted to teach me, but all my grandparents are born in Indonesia. My grandma is from Kediri, my grandfather from Bogor, my other grandfather also from Bogor, and my other grandma from Surabaya. So my roots are Indonesian, and I always make a joke to my friends in the desa is that I am balas dendam di koloni, ya. I'm 80% Indonesian, campur Belanda, China, Russia, Africa. And they took a lot of us, and that's why I bring it back like this. The normal procedure for a method like this is via the Dutch embassy, asking the Pemerintah in Belanda, and then after 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years, maybe you have access to this. And what I did is on private behalf, I asked if I can use this in Indonesia, and Amsterdam even gave me permission for the copyrights to translate the book into Bahasa. And for me, really an honor. And also, I feel kind of, how do you call that? Grateful that people in Belanda and Pemerintah trust me so much that me as individual, not as a company, I came here with my plane and alone, with a suitcase alone, and they gave me this because of my former prestations in Belanda. So it's a real honor to bring this to Indonesia, and I truly believe Indonesia can become #1 in 5 years with this. Within 5 years, if we do it, all do it. And I don't want to become rich of it. I just want to share it and teach everyone who wants. I'm a teacher. I'm a business accelerator, and community changing the mindset of the communities. That's the most important. That's why I love to go to the desert.
Thank you so much, Demi. So for all the audiences who can get the book, you can fill the form. You can
Yes.
check a box. Okay, you can fill the form to pre-order the book. Okay. Maybe a closing statement from Bapak Ahmad Sarwadi before we close this webinar today.
Okay, Bu Fitria. I think today seminar, today discussion is very fruitful. For there are many benefit from us, special, and also I think for all audience. Sustainability principle now is a must. So we all people in the world have to do effort to make our neighborhood, our city to be more sustainable. So Amsterdam is one of case and very good best practice for learn about how to create to create a city to be a sustainable city. And Indonesia, I think there are many efforts to make city to be more sustainable. There are many rules and also case that have been done in Indonesia. However, not still not integrated. Still out on many parts. There are many projects about smart city in Indonesia. Government also support about that. So thank you very much for presentation, Pak Demi, dan I am very happy to be listen about to learn about integral design method from Amsterdam, dan hopefully we can continue discuss or maybe cooperation for the future. And terima kasih Bu Fitria yang juga telah mengundang saya jadi mengikuti acara ini. Hopefully we can all of engineer in Indonesia can make cooperation, make like how to create our city to be sustainable, our neighborhood more sustainable, and also our building. Ya, saya pikir itu dari saya, Bu Fitria. Thank you very much. Good luck and good job, Bu Fitria. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Bapak Ahmad. Okay, before we close, there are remarks again from Mr. Habib Razak. Welcome, Mr. Habib.
Ya, terima kasih Mbak Fitri. Thank you, Demi, for giving us more insights on how to design the sustainable city. I think there are several parameters that you mentioned in your presentation, and I believe that this kind of concept, what Amsterdam implemented, so far, can be also implemented in Indonesia, and especially when we are talking about the new capital city development. I think the objective is to make sure that the capital city, the new city, will be modern city, sustainable, smart forest city. And I believe from the Amsterdam, from the Singapore benchmarking, we can learn, we can adapt, and then we can implement to our new capital city development. That's one thing. The second one, for the book, I think this is a good book. That's why it is really valuable book. It's really substantial. Yeah, it's not just a theoretical. My understanding, yeah, Demi. So it is more practical. Therefore, the cost is quite expensive. But to me, as engineer, I think that is affordable. We are talking about $140 US, if I'm not mistaken. Should be affordable for all engineers to get the book. Yeah, soon. Hopefully, we can get the book released soon. Yeah, Demi. So everybody can get the book and start reading it, implementing it, making sure that everybody can realize in their projects. Yeah. Okay, I think that's it from me, Ibu Fitri. We'll pass it back to you. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Bibi, for the closing remarks. I agree, the book is very interesting, and of course, for the audience to get the book, you can fill the form to pre-order the book. Okay. Maybe Demi, one last time to closing again.
You're lucky. You're lucky. You're lucky. I love to talk. So anyway, makasih Pak Ahmad for your feedback, and makasih Bibi. Yes, the book is very interesting to use, but also what I want to explain additional to that one is that you don't have to learn from the book, because the book is the Dutch way, the Amsterdam way, and we need to make the Indonesian way. So next to the content of the book, and that is very interesting to learn about how to reorder and restructure public space, how you can make the most smallest items the most sustainable. We also offer full support with our team, including the Amsterdam team. Meaning if on quota level we work together, we will try to bring that on business to business level. Kata pemerintah. Why? Because from Rwanda, I mean, because then it becomes diplomatic, and it becomes bureaucratic, then it becomes slow. We don't want that. So what we can do is we can offer full support in your feasibility studies, management, selecting the right technologies, but the result should be made by Indonesian, constructed by Indonesian, benefited to Indonesia, with the support of our people if needed. And we want to learn everyone, and Pak Ichan and Pak Randy are already trained by our team here in Indonesia, so we can do it also dalam bahasa Indonesia fully. Everybody, thank you for your interest. For me, it was a challenge because yeah, I'm going to tell. I explain this today to experts, and I'm not really an expert. Meaning, I know the content, I know the vision. As I said in the beginning, I'm a community developer. I'm a community expert. So if you ever have a problem with a cross community, then you can ask me, and I will make their mindset the same as yours, and then you can make your project better, and the people will collaborate because they want to. That's what I also do in the DESA. The DESA, I help the Kubus and the Ketuas with their putting their vision on paper and involve the communities so that they have more success rate to realize their projects. Thank you everyone for watching this. You can order the book. Maybe Fitri also can put the order form in the description of YouTube. We have a minimum quota, so we have to have around 200 books in order, and then they will be delivered as printed and supplied. And it will give you also access to the seminar for 15 July, because for 15 July we want a closed seminar with only people that have bought the book, because we want only people who are really interested in the topic, because we will invite Amsterdam and we want them to have a warm welcome with interested people. So Fitri, thank you very much for this opportunity. Pak Ahmad, thank you for joining, and Pak Abibi, thank you for making this opportunity for me, and thank you to be part of the 70th anniversary seminars from PII. So next topic, water management. Next seminar. Or sampah.
Okay, thank you so much, Demi, for giving us a new insight. Maybe we are now in a closing time, so all the audience, I remind again to fill the form to get pre-order the book, and we can connect to Demi via LinkedIn or via email, right? Noted, okay. So thank you so much, Demi, for giving us a new insight. Hopefully, what the Amsterdam can implement it in Indonesia, and of course, is for the better Indonesia in the future. Okay. Okay, thank you so much, Demi, Pak Ahmad Saurwadi, Pak Habibie, untuk hadir di webinar kali ini. Terima kasih banyak juga untuk semua hadirin yang telah hadir. Semoga semua yang didapatkan ilmu pada hari ini dapat bermanfaat buat kemajuan Indonesia di depannya. To build a better Indonesia in the future. Oke, thank you so much. I'm Fitri Anissa Lubis, pamit undur diri. Mohon maaf bila ada kesalahan. Jangan lupa diisi formnya untuk mendapatkan buku gitu ya. Bukunya sangat menarik sekali, so very interesting, and of course tentu buku ini akan memberikan banyak sekali ilmu dan pelajaran untuk kita semua gitu. Baik, terima kasih banyak. Jangan lupa hadiri di webinar-webinar lain masih dalam rangka HUT 70 tahun PII. Terima kasih, saya Fitri Anissa Lubis, pamit undur diri. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.
Waalaikumsalam.
Have a nice
Ya,
day.
Sama-sama.
Pamit.
Thank you.
Oke, Pak Demi, Bu Fitri, dan semuanya, mohon pamit.
Thank you.
Recording stopped.